What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. First, I want to shout out to my friend George out there, killing it every day is his actual Instagram. He sent me out this shirt, which is actually a really nice soft shirt. I love it very much. Thank you very much, George. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to give him a quick little shout out there. And George is a very big supporter of mine. Him and his, I don't know if it's his wife or his girlfriend, come out to see me anytime I'm in Texas. I see him at the event stuff. They'll make the trip to come see me just to hang out and see what's up. So thank you so much for the shirt, George. I really appreciate it, man. So let's get into it tonight. That is the segue into something that we're going to look at it a little bit of a different way, okay? I think everybody kind of has a similar way of looking at things. You have people that look at things this way and people look at things this way. And I feel like I'm kind of like here. I'm kind of like in the middle with a lot of things. I'm not one extreme, not the other extreme. I'm very in the middle with a lot of things that are diet, training related, stuff like that. But I think most people will argue they like it here, they like it here. Like, they don't like this, all right? But this is kind of where I live. So that being said, over and over again, I've heard the bros, which say let's say they would be over here on this side, say that eating frequent meals increases metabolism, right? Eating more meals increases metabolism. And their basis is, it is actually based on a little bit of science, right? But whether or not that actually plays out in the studies, which the other people would say, the science-based people would say that eating frequent meals does not increase your metabolism, and studies have proven it not to, there is still a scientific basis on what the bros are talking about. Now, the bros look at the science based on, let's back up. So you have the bros that say it does speed up your metabolism. You have the science people that say it does not speed up your metabolism, right? Now, technically, they are both right. That's why we're in the middle again. Now, let's take the scientific studies, for instance. So the scientific studies looked at whether or not they actually increased metabolism by ingesting more foods. Now, the bros actually didn't look at studies. What they did was they go to the textbooks, okay, rather than the studies. They go to the textbooks because they don't really know how to read the studies. I'll be honest with you. People call me bro, we have a very hard time understanding what the fuck these studies say. And I usually ask the guerrilla chemist. I'll be like, dude, what the fuck does this say? Like, I read the abstract and conclusion. This fucking thing is saying everything under the fucking sun and nothing at the same time. I don't understand it. And sometimes he'll translate and be like, well, here's what the conclusion is saying, or the abstract or whatever, or the introduction or whatever. He'll kind of explain it to me here and there. But if you go back to the books, the textbooks, it'll tell you that protein will actually increase your metabolism due to thermic effect of food. So therefore, if you're eating protein, right, vegetables, protein specifically for some reason has more of a percentage of a boost on metabolism when you ingest it. We know that vegetables, thermic effect of food, carbohydrates, thermic effect of food. We know these things, right? So we know that that's an actual thing. So for the science people to say that it's impossible, that it doesn't happen, they're basing that on the studies. But before the studies even happened, they proved scientifically that the body does have a thermic effect of food, and certain foods will increase the rate at your metabolism is burning to get rid of those foods, to process those foods, to use them for energy, okay? So in essence, the bros are technically right, okay? Now, how are the science-based people right? Well, technically, if you had a baseline of, let's say, 2,000 calories, at the end of the diet or 3 days in or by the end of the day, you don't have a baseline calories of 2,300 calories. So you don't have a sped up metabolism. What you have is basically the same thing across the board. That's what certain studies have shown. And even other studies had shown it was weight loss too. By the way, it's not muscle fat loss and muscle maintenance or muscle gain. It's weight loss, right? Some of the ones show like differences in fat loss. And I do think there are genetic markers that have people that, even if you took 100 people, the average person's genetics are not going to be what somebody who's genetically blessed is going to be, and somebody who's not genetically blessed and isn't even average, they're going to be different too. That's why you have so many different people in the studies. But they're going to argue that it stays the same whether you eat every 2 hours or eat everything in one meal. Now, here's where I come in, okay? I'm in the middle. I understand what the bros are saying. I understand what they're saying. Now, I'm explaining to you why they're both right, and stop fucking arguing, okay? Stop arguing. Just get the fuck along. Pull your heads out of your asses and understand what I'm about to say. We know for a fact, this is something that the science-based people never talk about for some reason, something that the bros never talk about, and I honestly believe that it's something they don't really know, or they don't put much emphasis on because they don't really understand it, or they really don't believe it, which doesn't make any fucking sense. But as human beings, and I don't even know if animals have the same type of thing that we do like this, but it's called the amino acid pool. And what happens is when you ingest protein, protein is not amino acids, okay? Let's face facts. we need to explain to people that protein is the food that contains amino acids, the carrier or the vehicle. Okay, much like testosterone in the cc of oil, the oil is the carrier. The testosterone is not the oil, right? So the protein is the carrier. You ingest this protein, it's broken down into amino acids. The amino acids are then digested, released into your blood, used for repair, energy, all kinds of different things, right? Tissue repair, everything you could think of there. Some of them are broken down, turned into coenzymes, used for other reactions, put in the Krebs cycle. There's so many things that get done with these amino acids. It's not just about building muscle and, maintaining a muscle mass. However, there's also an amino acid pool. That amino acid pool is where amino acids that are left over go, and they basically stay in this amino acid pool and get used up as you need them when there's no amino acids in your blood to be used. Now, the thing about the amino acid pool is it turns over, after about an hour and a half, you're at peak anabolism after you've ingested your protein. Your body's broken it down. It's about 30 minutes to an hour and a half, I think, is that peak where it's peaking. By the time you get to 2 hours, you're not only on the decline, by the time you get to 3 hours, you're pretty much back down to baseline and now going to be catabolic. The amino acid pool has flipped itself over. That's what some people call it, but basically depleted itself. Without more protein or amino acids coming in from being eaten and ingested, that amino acid pool is now deficient. Your body's now breaking down muscle tissue to get amino acids to do the things that those amino acids need. You're now catabolic. You're breaking down muscle tissue, which when you're breaking down muscle tissue, you are now slowing down your metabolism. Okay? So what we have here is every 3 hours, basically you're going catabolic. So those people that are doing intermittent fasting, these people actually have a hard time maintaining their muscle mass if they're not genetic freaks or on drugs. Matter of fact, we had Kinobody who actually lost muscle while he was on his diet. That is, it doesn't make any sense because for somebody who has everything dialed in, it's because you're going catabolic so much throughout the day. You cannot say 20 hours of catabolism and 3 hours of anabolism. The 3 hours is going to outweigh the 20 hours. It doesn't work that way. So technically, when you're ingesting protein or amino acids every 3 hours on a diet, your body has the amino acids that it needs in order to repair and at least maintain the muscle mass that you have. So therefore, the maintained muscle mass keeps your metabolism stable or steady. Without those amino acids, where people say, oh, it doesn't matter how often you eat, you're going to get a decline in metabolism. So technically, eating every 3 hours or every 2 hours would be even better. It's not going to increase metabolism, although it does have a thermic effect of food, but it will absolutely stop you from downgrading your metabolism or adapting to a slower metabolism because of the fact that that highly metabolic tissue, which is muscle tissue, is being eaten up, processed, and used for other things that it should be staying on your skeleton to make sure that you have that muscle mass. But you're not feeding your body properly. So in essence, they're both wrong and they're both right. But the bottom line is the truth lies in the middle. Eating every 2 to 3 hours absolutely maintains your muscle mass. And, they're not even going to argue it. I'm telling you right now, the scientific people are not going to argue it because they're going to understand the amino acid pool and they're going to be like, fuck, that's right. Even if they looked up the studies and all the information, that's right. The bros are not going to argue with it because they're going to say, see, look, we need to eat every 3 hours or we lose muscle. We don't want to lose muscle, right? And if you add the thermic effect of food in there, you get a faster metabolism while the food's being processed. But it's not like you have a longer, after the food's done processing, you have a higher metabolism for 4 or 5 hours. It doesn't work that day. So the bros are right in essence that your metabolism increases while the food is digesting and processing. And the scientific people are right in the fact that it doesn't last very long. But it's there and it does happen. So the science people need to stop poking fun at the bros. The bros need to stop poking fun at them and realize that we're all in this together. Whether we're scientific or bros, we're all in this together. We all want results. We all want to better ourselves. We all want to be better today than we were yesterday. We all want to help other people. The reason why we're arguing is because we want people to listen to us because we want to help them. So bros want people to listen, science people. We're all looking to do the same thing. Why the fuck are we fighting? If we actually sat down, there could be someone like me who sits down with a bro and a science person and gets to the bottom of it and explains what I just explained, which technically, in order to maintain your muscle mass while you're dieting, you need to be eating or at least ingesting essential amino acids every 2.5. I wouldn't go any longer than every 2 hours, to be honest with you. And that's the old bro thing, eat every 2 hours. Where do you guys think that eat every 2 hours came from? Do you think that bodybuilders magically pulled that number out of their ass, 2? Do you think, because we eat 3 meals a day, that's 3 squares a day, that's what we're taught our whole life. So you think that bodybuilders randomly pulled that shit out of their ass? No, what happened was bodybuilders started eating 3 meals a day. That's how it was, 3 squares a day. Then some bodybuilders tried 4 meals a day, 5 meals a day. And then somewhere somebody realized, and I think it was in the late 80s, we were told that you couldn't digest protein more than 30 grams at a time. So if you're eating 50 grams of protein, whether it's a supplement source or a food source, you can't digest that, which doesn't make any sense because it's like, where does it go? Like, do you throw it back up? Because if you can't digest it, you don't just pass out like you poop it as a fucking chicken breast. Like, you have to break it down and digest it. Whether or not you absorb it, it's a whole different thing. But they're saying you can't digest more than 30. So it made everybody break up these smaller meals over time. When they broke up those smaller meals, they actually got better results. They actually maintained their muscle mass better. They didn't really understand why, but they knew that eating gives you a faster metabolism. That was their jump. There was a missing piece as to how it worked, which I just explained is in the middle. So they jumped all the way to a faster metabolism, which technically could be considered true, because if you ate the 2 meals a day, like the science people say, in the fucking week, you'd have a slower metabolism. So therefore, if you ate like the bros, you'd actually have a faster metabolism at the end of the week because it won't decline. So although it doesn't speed up from baseline, it doesn't go down. It stays the same, which would be higher than normal if you didn't eat every 2 hours. So hopefully this explains it to you that everybody is right when they're talking about this. And for some reason, I don't know why, nobody's actually just come out and said this. Like, a matter of fact, when I did the video about the amino acid pool, which if you Google right now or search it in YouTube, the amino acid pool, I was the only one talking about this in this industry. Like, people weren't even talking about it. You have all these companies, these supplement companies, these gurus, these experts, and they're not even talking about basic stuff like the Krebs cycle, like the amino acid pool, like how your body repairs and stuff, like collagen. They're not even talking about this stuff because they're too concerned with calories in, calories out, getting bigger, taking steroids. Like, that last stuff is great, but without those basics, the knowledge of those basics, you can't apply that to those advanced techniques and get the results that you really should be getting. You'll get results because doing anything gets results. Lifting weights gets results. Doing a little cardio gets results. Eating gets results. Starving yourself gets results. Anything you do gets results. But what's optimal? What's faster? What's the best? Bottom line is there's a billion different ways to do it, but for people to be arguing about the same thing when they're both producing results, but they both could be producing better results if they got together in the middle and understood that they were both right, everything in this entire fucking landscape would change. BioStreetTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.punishing.com is the blog. It's the right in the middle bicep, and we are out.